My first cool tool thing is called Lead Yourself First. So no matter what position you are in an organization, if you own your own business, you work for a small business, you work for a large business, if you want to lead and work with your own entrepreneurial spirit, if you want to make things happen, you need to lead yourself first. And a lot of times I have to tell you, it sounds like common sense, doesn't it? But you know what? I bet you that 90% of the executives that I coach are not leading themselves first, because the gravitational pull of their business and the gravitational pull of their world is away from sort of how you're setting yourself up for success. So I have actually 6 things that I suggest that people do to get yourself ready to be a really great leader and to be able to take your business or your position to the next level. The first one is read. And I personally like old-fashioned reading, although I do have a Kindle. And I do read on my Kindle when I travel because it's easier than lugging around a bunch of books. But you really do need to be learning all the time, and whether it's in your industry or industry specific, or you're looking at resources that people are suggesting for you, but that's one thing I highly recommend. And this is my new favorite book I'm telling everyone to read, which is Leadership and Self-Deception. Anybody read this? Okay, amazing book, very powerful. I mean, changes your life, seriously. And if you coach people and you work with leaders, then this is even more valuable. It's by the Arbinger Institute. You can come up and take a look at it after. Leadership and Self-Deception. One of the things that I'm trying to do when I'm helping people change their organizational cultures is to get them to create great places to work where people can do what they need to do. And you know, sometimes the hard stuff of the business, whatever that is, whatever the industry is, the things that get in the way of it are people's inability to lead, to communicate, to confront, and things like that. And so when you think about the inner work that you want to do in order to prepare yourself to do that, Leadership and Self-Deception is an excellent resource. So that's one for you. I think taking classes and participating in events like this that are devoted to your professional development is essential. I mean, I look at my calendar and I say, all right, which Seattle Chamber event am I going to this month? Which Alan Weiss event am I going to this year? Like, I plan things out so that I have professional development activities for myself on my calendar all the time, even though I'm often the one who might be offering them for organizations. I need to continue to develop too. So set some goals around that. The third one is to get a coach. And what I mean by that is, you know, find someone. It could be formal or informal. It could be in your organization, it could be outside your organization. It could be someone who calls themselves a coach or not, but just someone who knows more than you do about something, is an expert and has done it, and who can help you set goals and create accountabilities. Because that's one of the smartest things that I certainly ever did. There's no way that I could have created the business that I've created now, or the lifestyle I've created now, if I hadn't had a coach. If I hadn't done that and hadn't invested in that. And getting a coach or a mentor doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It actually means, it's like, you know, skiing or something, you know? I mean, I took an extra skiing lesson because I wanted to get better.
You need to build a strong prospect pipeline. This goes hand in hand with relationship building. So the two are the same. One of the biggest mistakes I made was that I was working so hard at my work and the projects I was doing that one day I realized I wasn't talking to anybody new. Now, can any of you survive without new customers, clients, or members? Anybody here? Me neither. And so that was another big shot in the face, saying, oh my gosh, my prospect pipeline has run dry. And I have 3 ways that you can make sure that your prospect pipeline stays full. Number 1, call 3 people every day. I don't care if it's somebody who's already a client. There are some things that you can do when you talk to them. Number 1 is ask for referrals. Why is it that and we're all in the sales business, why is it that it's so hard for us to ask for referrals? That's the interactive part of the meeting. I'm just curious. Why is it so hard to ask for referrals?
Self-promoting.
You feel, but these are people who already love and like you, right?
Yeah, I'm not talking about
Yeah, I know.
Standpoint, but
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, you feel like you're self-promoting, but these people already like you.
Well, let's ask. How many of you regularly ask for referrals?
Good for you.
Okay. And how many of you know you should ask for referrals, but you're not doing it as much as you probably should?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and my guess is, even when I'd ask for referrals, but I didn't do a very good job of making sure I always got them, or I followed up with them as well. So number one is, when you're calling these 3 people, it might be one of your best clients, and you're calling to say, hey, how you doing? By the way, as you know, referrals are the coinage of my realm. Who is it in your peer association group or whoever that would be able to benefit from my services? How many of you speak in your business? For whatever reason, you might speak, okay, couple. Some of you may want to think about doing that more often. Something like this, and it could be a chamber event, it could be for a Rotary Club or a service organization. But I found some of the best ways that I get referrals is asking my clients, what associations do you belong to? That might be, their members might like to hear what I have to say. I just picked up 2 yesterday. 2 opportunities to speak in front of a group of people who might like to use my services. So ask for referrals. Number 2, ask what's new. Sometimes new things happen to your clients. Find out if there is something that has happened, good or bad, that you might be able to be helpful with them for. Often we'll say what's new and everything's the same. But sometimes it's not, especially if you dig a little bit more. So I've talked about the first two things you can do. I'm talking about people you already know. People who should already be in your prospect pipeline. They're either a current client, maybe a friend, maybe somebody who can be a recommender. It's important that you end up getting names and finding out maybe that person who you've been doing business with, and maybe there's been a lag. Some of you have clients that you may do some work for, and then something happens, and you don't do some work for them for about a year or so. Does that happen to anybody else? A few people? I know that happens in consulting. The worst thing you can do is never talk to them again. You did a great project, they loved you, everything went well, but they've never called you back. Well, that's shame on us for not calling them back and saying, what's new? I have picked up new jobs, new projects, just by asking that question.